would like to welcome you in this session. In the last session, we were discussing about the constructor concepts. So, since last two sessions, we are consistently looking into different constructor concepts. So, in order to understand the constructor concept, we created a class called customer class, and we created a couple of constructor, just like a single constructor we do have over here. So is it parameterized constructor or default constructor? It's parameterized constructor because we are passing some values as an argument like string name, age, and company. So initially these values were defined in form of class variables, just like string name, age, and company. But like to make this process more easy and to achieve the inheritance. Okay, here we are not using the inheritance. So to achieve the inheritance, we have make these variables as in properties. Let me make it as private, right? We have private string name, is, and company name, right? Over here, what we are doing, the value from another class we will pass the name. When we will create the object of the customer, we will pass the age and company. Now I am assigning the same value to these properties. I am assigning this name to the above properties. This dot name is this particular property. Okay, and over here I am assigning the value to the class property, and the company would be assigned to this. So the benefit of this is that we can achieve encapsulation as well. Like but if I'll directly declare these as in public, so yeah, we were understanding the concept of constructor, but like encapsulation was not there. And if I'll make these private and want to access this, then I need to use the getters and setters concept. So better to use properties, C# properties. Okay, just like get and set. Now this is my derived class, I would say. This is the class, I say this is the customer class, and this is the class where I'm using the customer class. Okay, I have created an object customer C1 is equal to new customer. Now you see, like I have created an object like this. C1 is equal to Tom 37. These are my parameters, these are my arguments that I'm giving. So I cannot create the default constructor of this class, right? I can create only one constructor, and that constructor should take three values as an argument: the string name, integer age, and string company name, right? Now, uh, okay. Now, if I need to access those values, just like I'm using this is the object reference C1 dot. So there are multiple options. Let me make it public. Okay. So my customer class, as you know that, now if you analyze this, then this particular uh, just like name has two references. One is over here, and the next one is over inside the print method. So let us say I need to execute this particular method, get customer info. Okay, so how to execute this particular method? I need to call it inside that main method, then only it will get executed. So let us say C1 dot get customer info. So should I get the correct customer info or not? Here we are supplying this. So my output should be like name, age, and company, right? This should be my output. Let us execute it and analyze. This will be executed from man method. This is my man method. Okay. So let's wait for the console, and I should get like Tom, the age, and the company name kind of stuff. Yeah. So we didn't get anything. That means we are committing some mistake. We need to analyze that. What is the mistake that we are committing? Exited with code 0. Okay. So what are the thing that we are missing over here? We are in the same class customer. We have provided the name, company name. Okay. So this will not print. Okay. This will just return these values. We haven't written any print statement. So further, this will return a string kind of value. We can store this. Okay, just like we are using get customer, we can store these inside a string kind of variable, just like string customer info is equal to yeah. Further, we can print this, right? Console dot write line and print the customer info. So we are supplying these value to the constructor. Then these value would be set to the get and set properties. We have set these values. Now we are getting these properties inside this method like name, age and company. I can directly call these like because these are the class members. Okay. These are not local properties. These are class properties directly defined inside the class, not inside any method. So yeah, I'm directly calling these name, age and company. Now I'm assigning this value to the customer info and now I'm printing this value. So let me execute it again. Yeah, now we got the correct output. Tom 37 IBM means our program is working fine. Okay, and we also like using that encapsulation concept over here because by defining these, by hiding the implementation of these, we are defining these as in private. So yeah, that's all about the constructor, and I have given you one assignment. So please have a look into that. We'll talk about okay, we'll talk about that once you're done with that. I'll explain you that as well in the upcoming session, or maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Okay. So yeah, that's all.
One question from me.
Mhm.
Here we are getting the values and setting the values. That is okay.
Yeah.
From the constructor, I am getting something, setting the values and
Hmm.
get set and all. But here again, I have written one method get customer info to get the values.
Hmm.
So why two times we are getting this value, getting the same thing?
No, where we are two times getting, we are getting just single time, just like name we get over here.
Yeah, but
So
the thing
here
is,
that means we are using these values over here. That operation can be anything. Like we need to print these values. This is just for that implementation purpose. Like the implementation may be different. We would not require these values. I'm saying we can use these values over here as well as from outside this class.
hmm,
I can use just like the name is over here. I can use the name over here, maybe inside the same class. Okay. Or like I can then the other meaning of this particular thing is that I can also call the other by using the reference type. I can call the other methods as well. Or directly, if I need, then I can directly use these inside in any other classes as well. Just like we did at the time of implementation. If you don't want to implement this, then you can directly use these values somewhere else as well. But yeah, first you need to assign these values, then only you will get. Just like where is the encapsulation? Yeah. So in the encapsulation, just like we have class. Yeah. So in the login page, you see we what we are doing over here. So in the login page, we are just define some properties: phone number, mail, username, and password. Okay. Now and we also define one method: login by passing username and passing the password. So now I can use these properties over here inside the same class, or you see, I have used these maybe username and password over here as well. There is another class called Flipkart.s. That was my login. That was my login page, and here I have Flipkart page. So I just create the object, okay, and define the value, or I can set the value. Now I'm directly getting the values by using the reference variable. You see, lp.username. So I can directly use these properties. Or these values just like username inside same class method and call this method outside of this class. Both things are allowed. You see, I am directly using this username over here, not through any methods. All these like properties are like public in nature. Then I'm directly using this, right? But if I make these private properties as private, then I will not be able to access these directly. Okay, then I have to pass this, then I have to set the values, and okay, I'll need to assign some values over here, then only I can use this particular method as an operation, right?
Yes.
Okay, I hope you got your answer. Okay, so now we'll discuss a new and very important concept of programming that is known as the inheritance. Okay, so we are going to learn about the inheritance in this particular session. Inheritance, you see, by its name, it's confirmed like inherit means to inherit something from the parent or grandparent. Okay, so for that, let me create a new folder, add folder. Let us say object oriented programming, inheritance concept, right? Okay, we have created one folder called OOP inheritance, right? So in OOP inheritance, we'll understand everything by class, but let me explain you the concept of inheritance. What is inheritance and how does it work? So basically, for an example, we have an object of the class, or let us say we have a parent class that is called. Let us say this is my car class, and we have three. Let us say two or three child classes as well. The above one is parent. Let us say this is BMW, this is Audi, and this one is Honda. Right. So let us say this is my car class. Okay. Let it over here. This is my car class. This is my BMW. Sorry. Let us say Honda. So I can say car has some properties, right? Just like we can some functions and properties. Just like car have four wheels. We have seen this example, or maybe car can start. So let us say these have some properties. Okay. For an example, let us say these have two properties. Okay. Now, the derived class, or we can say the child classes, may have these same properties, will have the same properties, like just like the car have, and this will also have the same properties which the car have. Okay, and this as well. Along with this, the BMW have their own feature as well, right? They will have the same feature as the class have. Okay, but this also have their own feature. Maybe it's like comfort, or maybe some automatic sensors. So it may have its own features. Similarly, the OD has its own feature as well. Okay, so OD may have its own feature. Uh, okay, so maybe multiple features OD can have. Similarly, like this Honda have its own features. Apart from the apart from these two, Honda have some odd features. So we can say like this car is our, we can say, parent class. Let me change that. parent class, or we can say this as base class or super as well sometimes. These all are the name of this class, right? And the below one, these classes are called, they are known as child classes, or we can say subclass as well, or these are same, derived class. Okay, these you may call it child class or subclass or derived class. Similarly, the above one you may. So this particular car, BMW, these two properties from where this will like taking these properties, okay, from this class, right? From the car class, the red one properties, maybe car can start or this kind of functionality. This is deriving from the parent class. Similarly, this Audi is child class and some functionality is taking from the parent car. And similarly, in case of Honda also. Okay, yeah. So these all are extending some properties from the parent class and some have their own features as well, right? Yeah. So you get it. Now, there might be, I'll say, if I talk about inheritance, then let me create a practical class. Let's create a class called car class. Okay. In car class, you haven't created any main method. Let us say, let's, what is the inheritance? Before understanding inheritance, let's understand that a class can have, a class can have multiple child classes, right? A class can have multiple child classes, but a class can't have multiple parent class in C sharp. Just like this, uh, like this child class, this the parent class is car class. This have multiple child classes, just like car class, BMW class, Audi or Honda. But if you talk about specifically to C sharp, then you cannot create like you can extend the properties of car class. For an example, let us say we have one more class. Let us say we have one more class over here, or let me change the font. Just like we have one more class that is called, let us say the name, we can say it Tata truck. Okay, need to change the font color. Okay. So this Tata truck may have their own functionalities. Maybe some they can load something. They are have huge body. So this is the Tata truck functionalities, right? They have their some features. So this particular class derive properties from car class. But if this will go over here and this he will want to, I would say, like derive the properties, inherit the properties of truck class, then this is not allowed in, this is not allowed in C sharp. Because why it's not allowed? Because in this case, BMW class will have two parents, one is Tata truck and one is car. So this is not allowed. Yeah, this is called multiple inheritance. So multiple inheritance is not allowed. Why this is not allowed? This is an interview question as well. This will create a diamond problem over here. So diamond means if I'll match these lines just like this. Let me change the font. just like this. So you see, this is just like a diamond. So this is just like a diamond. So there would be a diamond problem. Diamond means there would be two parent and one child. Truck and car are two parents for BMW. This will be a diamond problem. That's why it's not allowed in C sharp. Yeah, multi-level inheritance is possible. Multi-level inheritance means, for an example, this car class, there is one more class. Okay. Let me change the color so you can get it better. Let us say we have one more class. Okay. That is maybe we have vehicle class. Yeah. So yeah, this is possible in C sharp. Like this car class accessing some properties of the vehicle class, and further we are accessing this car class. So this is multi-level inheritance, right? Multi-level inheritance means first this is our grandparent class, right? We can say this is grandparent, this is parent, and this is child, right? So the BMW child cannot have two parents, right? This cannot have two parents. If I talk about that specifically about the classes, when I'll make you understand the interface concept, then we'll get some solution of this. But like BMW cannot have, my child cannot have two parents, but yeah, it can have grandparent, means multi-level inheritance. First level grandparent, second level parent, and third level child, but it cannot have two parents. Okay, so multi-level inheritance is possible, but multiple inheritance is not possible. Always keep this point in your mind. This is very famous interview question that is mostly asked in every interview. Okay, okay. So I give you this point. A class cannot have multiple parent class in C sharp, right? So I can say over here multiple in inheritance not allowed in C sharp. Okay. Now, just I told you that multi level is allowed, right? Multiple is not allowed, multi level is allowed. Okay. And reverse inheritance is all not also is also not possible. Just like parent can't take anything from child. Child can take anything from parent, but parent cannot anything. Just like we can say, hey, my face is matching with my mother. I'm not saying like my mother's face is matching with me. So, like we can have the parents, we can the child class can have the properties of the parent, but the parent will not take that properties, methods, function, variables of the child class. Okay, so it's kind of reverse inheritance. It's not possible, right? Yeah. So let's see it practically. Let's implement it. We have a class, internal class car, and car have some methods. Let us say some generic method that all the cars have, just like public, void, start function. A car can be start, all the cars can be start. Maybe the process of the starting may be different. Some cars may be start from the key, some are without key, automatic start, some may start from any remote kind of button. Okay, some cars have some voice control. Yeah, process may be different, but the functionality would be same. The car, the class where the car would get started. So let us print it. Console dot write line, I would say car start. And we can similarly we can have one more method. Let us say stop, then the car will get stopped. Or let us say one more method we can have. Let us say wheels, or let us make it refuel. We can refuel the petrol or diesel to the car. So yeah, So this particular car have these three features: car can start, can stop, and can refuel. Okay. Now let's create some child classes that we have discussed. So first create BMW class. BMW is my child class. Still, it's not child. It's This is an independent class because this nothing have to take with car class yet. But how when will this be child? So there is an in C sharp use double dot and let us say car. So yeah, if you write it like this, BMW, these these signs, double dots, and then car. So that means this symbol represents the this particular symbol represents the extend keyword, or we can say the properties or of car class is being accessed by BMW. Now in this case, if I'll ask you which one is the parent and which one is the child. Now the car is the parent and BMW is the child. This is the relationship between these two classes. But if I'll not write this, then which one is the parent and which one is child? Yeah, no one is parent. These are two independent classes. Car is separate class and BMW is separate class. But now, if I'll use this symbol and write in car, then I would say that yeah, my BMW is now child and car is my parent. Got it? Okay. So now car can have all the methods. BMW can have all the properties or methods that a car have because this is a child. A child have everything that his parents have, or he may have something else as well, right? The same thing that I have explained you, the two red symbols. That means if parents have these, then yeah, BMW can have all these. Along with this, BMW can have some more features as well. They are not present in that car. Just like our parents have some money. Yeah, so we all have that particular money. Also, we can have our own money as well. Yeah. So, just like this have start method. So the start is also with the BMW because this is inheriting from the car. But BMW can have its own start method as well. Maybe like this: public void start. This start method is separate from the car start. Okay. Now let's print it. There is a warning. I'll explain you that what is the warning over here. Okay. BMW. Let us say start. Okay. And this may have this like her own method as well. This is the same method, but like implementation is different, and we can have like this BMW class can have its own methods, just like public void auto parking facility. Okay. So like this BMW can have auto parking, but all the classes cannot have auto parking. Yeah, so reverse inheritance is not possible. Like this car class cannot inherit this auto parking, but the BMW can inherit the start and stop and refuel. Right? Let us say BMW auto parking. Right? Yeah. So car is my parent class. These have their own methods: start, stop, and refuel. Child is my BMW is my child class. This has their two implementation. One is start. Start is same, but the implementation is different, and it has one more method called auto parking. Now, let's create a test class in which we will call all these methods. Okay, let's create one more class. Let's say test car. In test car, we will create main method svm double tab public static void main svm double tap, then the main method would get generated. Yeah. Now let's create the object of the child class first. Okay, because we have to work on the child class. So let's create the object bmw b is equal to new bmw, right? Now if I call b dot, write it like the start, then I can call the start method. So could you please confirm, could you please tell me that which class start method is this? We have start method in bmw car and we have start method in car class as well. So from where this is coming, from bmw or car,
It
Ashwini?
is from BMW.
Right. Right. So because the latest would be displayed and the latest we have created inside the BMW object, we are creating the object of the BMW and trying to access. So yeah, obviously this C# would say, hey, this have their own start method. So let's call your start method. Okay. Can I call the stop? Yes, I can call the stop. If the stop method is present from inside the BMW class, no, it's not there. Then from where it's coming? It's coming from its parent class. Parent one is car. So yeah, this stop, you can say there is one reference, right? So this stop coming from there. Can I refuel? BMW dot refuel method is there. This is also coming from the parent class. And there is one more feature that only BMW have, that is auto parking. So from where it's coming? This is coming from the BMW itself. So I can say this is my inherited method, right? This is my inherited method because this is coming from the BMW class. I would say inherited. This is inherited, and this is, what is this? This is overridden method, or I would say the child class method would be called over here, right? And this is my independent or individual method. My individual method. Okay. I would say these are my inherited methods, right? Stop is inherited from the parent. This is inherited from the parent. And this one is overridden method. I'll explain the concept of override. I would say override. Overridden, we can say. Overridden means we have start methods inside the car class. Okay. And this we already have understood the overloading. Now I'll explain you the overriding as well. Overriding means overriding will comes into the picture when we have parent and child relationship. So the car class is my parent class where we have start method, and the BMW is my child class where we have started same method. So this is called over that override concept in C sharp. This is called override method. Override means this car parent also have the same method, same name, same parameter, same return type, and the same type of methods has been created in child class as well. So this method is overriding the previous one. So that is called the method overloading. Okay, I'll explain you a bit more about this. So just try to understand one point over here. Like we are when we will talk about method overloading, I already have explained you that. And do you remember that there are a single class in which we can create multiple objects, sorry, multiple methods with different signature, with different parameter values. Method name would be same, but the parameter would be different. The number of parameter either the type of the parameter, right? So in case of method overloading, in case of method overloading, it's inside within the same class. We will have different type of methods inside the same class. But if I talk about method overriding, then there should be parent child relationship, right? Yeah. So this is method overloading, and in case of method overriding, there should be a parent and child kind of relationship. Then only we can achieve that. So when you have a method in the parent class and the same method you have in the child class, when you have a method start in the parent class and if you have same methods in the child class, then uh, like that should be with the same name, same number of parameters, and same return type, I would say. Let me write it for you. When you have a method in the parent class and the same method having child as well, child class, in the child class, then it should be first with the same name, same number of parameters. Okay, and signature should also be same. Let me write it over here. Okay, so just like we have the meaning of this line is we have a method in car class. The name is start. So if we have the same method name in derived class, then that particular method name would be same. Just like if this is start, if we want to you override this, then this should also be start. If we are not passing any kind of argument over here, like there is no argument, so this should also be without any argument. If I'll pass, let us say start int I. Okay, this is with one parameter start method. Now you see, now this is not an overridden method. Okay, these this start and these start are two different methods. Okay, and the warning also went away, right? So the parameters should also be same and the return type should also be same. Just like this is a void, let us say it's returning something integer, and I need to write it like return, let us say 100. So the signature of this method, that this method is returning an integer kind of values. Now you see this particular method is not returning any kind of values. So the signature should also be same. If that is returning some values, so this should also return some values. Let us say return. The value might be 100 or 200. Value might be different, but the signature should be same. Okay. If that is integer, then this should also be integer. Okay. Okay. Good so far. Okay. Now the thing that you need to access, the thing that we were like, there is some error over here in the class. Why? We need to make it void. Then there would be no error, and there is no error in the BMW as well. We should also make it void, right? Yeah. In the test class, we have BMW b is equal to new B1W stop ref. Let's execute it. Okay, and analyze the output from where it's start coming and stop coming. Then we'll talk about it. We have still have 20 minutes to discuss this. Oh, sorry, we need to change the object reference. Don't forget to change this when you are dealing with multiple. multiple main methods. Yeah, execute. Yeah. So you see, b dot start, the BMW start method got called. So this is overridden method. Okay. Now the car stop. This is the car method that we are, and this is also the car refuel. This is coming from the parent class, car stop, car refuel. And again, the last one, auto parking is the feature of BMW, and this method is only defined inside the BMW. So the BMW auto parking is reflecting over here. Okay, now let's move towards the error, the warning that is showing. Let's mouse over to this and try to understanding. This is saying BMW start hides inherited member car dot start, right? Use the new keyword if hiding was intended. Member start doesn't access instance data and can be marked. So the solution is also mentioned over here. He's saying that, hey, you are hiding. We are hiding the car start functionality, right? Car may be manual, but here we are saying that BMW start means it may be BMW automatically start or anything. So simply we are hiding some properties of the parent, right? This is the start method of this car. Maybe it's manual, okay? And maybe BMW start is an automatic. So what we are doing? We are hiding this one, are having our own start method. So it's saying use the new keyword if you want to hide it. So there is a new keyword, okay? Public new keyword. I think it would be that. Yeah. So you see, there is no as such warning over here. New means it may be used sometimes. It may be asked in the interview as well. New keyword in method overriding. Now we can easily understand that anyone will come over here, then he will easily understand this. Like, hey, this is my overridden method. How will he get to know? By new keyword. By new keyword to create the object, that is different thing. That is a separate topic. But here new keyword, the use of new keyword is that this is saying, hey, the same start method is in the parent class, but now you are creating a new start method. Now this will be always in the same consideration. Okay. And the output of this program will also be the same. But there is no as such warning. Compiler will not get confused now. Initially, it was getting confused whether it is a new start method or they have make it by mistake. But now compiler is clear. Yeah, we have make it intended. Means we know that we have created this. But now this is the warning. You can see hides inherited. Use the new keyword if hiding was intended. Yes, we are intended hiding it, not accidentally. So that's why we have used new keyword. Okay, got it. We are creating the child class object and accessing all the properties that are defined in the child as well as in the parent. Is there any question so far? Is there any question, Aswini? Got it?
No, no questions.
Oh,
No questions.
oh, good. So let me create and like keep one more point in your mind. Like private method cannot be overridden. Let me try public. Let me create it private. So can I override this private start? So I think it should not be allowed. Yeah, this is an error. The member BMW start does not hide an accessible member. The new keyword is not required. You see, it's saying new keyword is not required. So it means uh, we are not accessing from the parent. We cannot access that private methods of the parent. That's why it's saying. So he's saying remove this new keyword. So now, is this the overridden method? No, this is not the overridden method. This is same like auto parking. Okay, this is, we can say it's an individual method. Now start is also an individual method and auto parking was individual method of BMW car. We are not inheriting anything from the start. Okay, right? New, and this should be public. So let me write it over here. Private method cannot be. I'm giving you these notes for you. Okay, so that you can take reference. Private method cannot be inherited. Okay. Now Let me create. Here we are creating the object of child class. We have two classes. One is parent class, one is child class, and the third class is the test class, the test car, in which we are creating the objects. Okay. This time, let me create the object of the parent class. Let us say car C is equal to new car. Can I write it like this? Yes. Here I was creating the object of the BMW car. Here I'm creating object of the parent like car class. So can I access like C dot start? Yes, I can access from where it's coming, from parents itself. Here it was coming from the child, but we have created the object of the parent class, or we can say base class. So start is coming from the base itself. Can I call stop as well? Yeah, we can call. Can I call refuel? Yes, we can also call. Where is present refuel? Inside the same base class, right? But can I call this auto parking? C dot, can I call it? No, there is no as such intelligence showing over. I cannot access the auto parking because this auto parking method is specifically designed for the BMW class. So I gave you one point that reverse inheritance is not possible. Reverse inheritance, like parent cannot take anything from child, right? So C is my parent, car is my parent, and this is trying to take the properties from the child. So this is not allowed in C sharp, right? So this is not allowed. I would say, let us say if I need to access this, then I cannot do that. This would be an error. So it's not allowed. I'll write it again. Can't take anything from child. Let us say parent cannot take anything from child. Means parent, who is the parent, or who is the base? Car cannot take anything from the child. Who is the child? BMW, right? BMW can be auto park, but all the cars cannot be auto park, right? This is how this works. So this is also called, this concept is also called as the method overriding. And method overriding, we also call this method overriding as a polymorphism, right? Let me explain you over here. Method overriding is also known as polymorphism. Poly means many, right? Morphism. Morphism means forms. So we are creating many forms of the single method, just like uh, let's try to understand. Just like this is the start. Okay, this was our start method. Let us say, yeah. So this was my start method. So yeah, just like BMW, we created a start method. We can create the start method in OD as well. We can create start method in Hornet as well. So yeah, they would be having their own start method. So we have one start method and we are creating many forms of start methods. Just like we created one form over here. This is the one form. Start means BMW start. Okay. We were having the start as in parent and we are creating one form. Similarly, in the other classes like Honda or in Audi, we can create many forms. That's why this is also known as polymorphism, right? Okay. Polymorphism, poly means many, form. This is a very famous interview question. Okay. But like, do you remember at the time of method overloading? So method, as I explained you that method overloading is within the same classes. Inside that same class, so that is also an example of polymorphism. But this is known as the method overloading is known as, let me write it like this for you, and yeah, so this is known as runtime polymorphism. Okay, and this is also known as dynamic polymorphism, right? So this is known as polymorphism, maybe runtime polymorphism or dynamic polymorphism. I'll explain you that what is runtime and what is other thing. But I talk about the topic that we already have covered, method overloading. Uh, Overloading. So this is also an example of polymorphism. We are creating just like we have single method. So we can create multiple methods with different signature, with different parameters inside the same class. There also we are making lots of, we are making many forms, but that is known as static polymorphism, or we can also call it as uh, static as well as, let us say, static over here, and we also call it as compile time. Why compile time? Because at compiler level there are two levels. One is compiling, the code first gets compiles and then run. So at the compiler level itself we will get to know that which method would be called, but here it's not get, we are not like sure. So when we understood, let me explain you that we understood the method overloading concept, C sharp concept. Do we have employees, persons, method chaining is there? Let me okay, let me explain
Main
you.
method overloading class is already there under loops.
Okay, okay, it's fine. Let me create one more class for you so that you may you would be
Okay.
clear. Yeah, yeah. So let's give it a clear name. Method overloading concept, right? You have one class, and inside one class, let us say you have one method, public void the start method you have over here. So in method overloading, as I told you that method overloading is possible inside the same class itself. So in the same class, what we are doing, we are creating multiple start methods, but with different signature. Let us say it's taking integer a. Okay, and if I have created one more method, let us say I'm creating int a and let us say string b, anything. So the my I already have explained this concept. Method name would be same, start, but the parameter would be different. Here no parameter, single parameter, different multiple parameters. Okay. Now if I need to call this inside the main method, let me create a main method first. Void static main. Okay. Now if I need to access these methods, public methods, then let me create the object of this class. Obj is equal to new, right? Now if I'll write obj dot, then how many methods like would get displaced? I would have three options, like string int a and b plus two overloads. In the IntelliCode you can see suggestions, there are three start methods are over here. So at the compile time itself, I can decide which method I need to call, whether I need to call without parameter method or I need to call the method two other overloaded method as well. You see, plus two overloads. Whether I need to call it at that integer a, right? Let us say 10. So I am getting all these suggestions at the compile time. I am still not executing this code. At the compile time itself, I can decide which method we need to call. So all these options displayed compile, and compiler knows that which method have to use now. So the decision is taking at the compile level. Got it? Right? So why this is polymorphism? Because we have single method start and we are creating many forms of it. Poly means many, morphism means forms. So this is one form, two form of the start method, third form of the start method. And why it's compile time polymorphism? Because at the compiler level itself, we will get a suggestion that which method we need to call it. But this is about the method overloading, and the method overloading would always be inside the same class, right? There is no parent-child relationship over here. But if I again navigate to the class that we have created, BMW, here we are achieving the uh, polymorphism, but here we have parent and child relationship. So which kind of uh, polymorphism would be over here? This would be at runtime polymorphism. We'll get we'll get to know at the runtime that which method would get called, just like over here. Just like in the test card, we are calling this. So we'll at the runtime there is no error at the compile time, but at the runtime we'll get to know that which method will be calling inside, right? So this is also known as method overriding, or the things I already have described it over here inside the car class. Always remember, keep all these points in your mind. This is method overriding, or this is also known as runtime polymorphism or dynamic polymorphism. But the method overloading is compile time polymorphism and static polymorphism. Okay, I hope you have got the correct answer. Okay, now let me explain you one more concept. Just like here we are creating the object of the parent class, sorry, child class. Here we are creating object of the base class. Can I do it like this? If I create the object of the child, new BMW, right? Yeah, so I am creating this new object, but like there is no reference variable, object reference. So as I told you, explain the garbage collector concept. So the garbage collector will automatically get invoked and remove this. So we also need to define that the object reference. So can I assign this to the car? Let us say car C1 is equal to the new. Can I write it like this? Yes, I can write it like this. This is known as top casting. Okay, this is known as the top casting. So if I call, let us say if I call C1 dot start. Now could you please let me know that which method would get called from the parent, car start or BMW start? What's your thought on this, Ashwini?
I think car start will get called.
If car, then why? If BMW, then why?
BMW object we are assigning to car.
So,
So car start method will get called.
but the object we have created of the BMW, so which method got invoked? The BMW method will get invoked. Let us execute it, and yeah, somewhat you are right. Let us see the output. Let's for a while. Yeah. So we got car start method. You're right. Okay. I'll explain you how it's working. So you see car start means the parent class method is getting invoked. but like we are creating the object of the child. So I think the child class method, according to me, child class method should be invoked, because when will all the objects will get, I would say, initiated, or we can say will come into the picture as soon as we'll create the object of the class. Okay, so we are creating the object of the class, then how can I directly access that car class methods? You got it? The car class have different methods, but we are not created any object of the car class. Then why car class method is calling over here? Although your answer was right, but the reason is something different over here. Over car class start method got called. Let me print it out and execute it once again. Yeah. So car start is getting called. Why car start is getting called? I till now I have studied you that, I have taught you that we can call the object, we can call the methods only when we will have the object of the class, but we don't have any object of the car class. Still though we can, we like we are able to call the start methods and not able to call the child class methods. Okay, I'll explain you that why. C1 dot stop, can I call it? Okay, C1 dot refuel, is that allowed? Yes. Can I access C1 dot auto fuel, auto parking, sorry? Can I access that? No, it's not allowed, right? We cannot access if we are doing the type top casting. In the top casting means child class object is referring to the parent type. So this is called top casting, and I cannot access this. Means can't access. Okay. So what's the time? So yeah, I think this is enough for this session. We'll take a separate session on top casting and downcasting in the next session. I'll talk more about the top casting and why this start is coming. What is that override keyword, virtual keyword in C sharp, and how we can stop this. So these kind of things we'll look into these in the next session. Okay. Just now this, just keep this point in your mind. What is top casting? Top casting means, where is the top casting syntax I have written? Mm. Here is the top casting. So we created the object of the child, but we are assigning to the parent. So this is called known as top casting. Then how this will got executed? Why this is coming from the car only? Why not the BMW? I'll explain in the next session. Is that okay? As per your request, I am winding up this class before 9:30.
Yeah, and I'm very
Yeah.
grateful because I have to freshen up my